Welcome back, YouTube, to another soccer/football prediction. It's your boy Freddy Da Silva. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe so you won't miss any of your future team's predictions. All right. Today's prediction video will be for Tuesday, September 15th. And I got for you guys a 6-game slate. This will be, that's right, for the UEFA Champions League, what we've been waiting for. UEFA Champions League, baby. Let's go. I'm excited about this one. Now, Barca should have taken it last season, but it is what it is. I'm not going to go too much into it. I just know that we should have taken it. And I ain't mad because PSG is my, they're my favorite team from French league. So I ain't that mad about it. I'm glad they took it. So, but like always, I'll talk about the teams. I'll let you know if there's any injuries. We'll talk about the total, and then I'll give you my predictions. Here we go. First on the list, we have Athletic Club at home versus Arsenal. Arsenal, of course, they are favorite. Money line is sitting at 3 or plus 347 for Athletic Club, and Arsenal sitting at negative 120. So you already know Arsenal's favorite. And as they should be, they are a really strong team. So I do believe Arsenal is going to win this game tomorrow. So yeah, give me Arsenal to win. Total points sitting at 2.5. And as far as team total points sitting at 0.5 for Athletic Club and 1.5 for Arsenal. Now, injuries. Athletic Club do have 1 injured player, 2 questionable. Arsenal, on the other hand, they got 3 injured players and 2 questionable, which is better than they had, 4 days ago or something like that. I think they had 5 injuries and stuff like that. But I guess they got 2 healthier players. And I think those 2 questionable they have will be playing, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless of the situation, I feel like Arsenal is the better team here, and I do feel like they'll end up winning. Now, total points sitting at 2.5. I feel like this can go over. The most recent game between both of these 2 teams going head to head, it did go over 2.5. So I feel like this could go over. And I think it was on August 9th that they had a matchup. So yeah, it went over 2.5. And like I said, I feel like that can go over. But I think to me, the best bet here would most likely, if we're going for points, I think Arsenal over 1.5 is just the best bet here because that's just easier. Even though, total points could go over 2.5. I just don't see Athletic Club scoring a goal here, even though they could, right? It's just a goal and they're pretty good at scoring, right? 4 out of their 5 most recent games. I apologize. 3 out of their 5 most recent games, they've been able to cover this. And as far as Arsenal allowing their opponents, now that's why this is a little bit difficult on Athletic Club scoring because Arsenal's defense is that good. They've only allowed their opponents to score once in their 5 most recent games. And this was they ended up losing to Liverpool, and they only took an L 1-0. So yeah, Arsenal's a great team this time around. I'm a little scared too, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, give me Arsenal to win here. And as far as points, I'm going to have to say Arsenal over 1.5. To me, that's just the best bet here. All right, on to the next game. We have PSV versus United SG. This one's weird to me. This one's a weird game to me. PSV have been playing good, even though they took in 1 L in their 5 most recent games. But Union SG is apparently they haven't taken an L in their 5 most recent games. They got 4 wins and 1 draw. Between both of these 2 teams going head to head, PSV have won. And this W that they took versus Union SG was at home. They're playing at home. So I feel like PSV could win this one. But like I said, the reason why I'm saying this is a little on the weird side is because I think last season for the UEFA's Champions League. I don't think Union was there. So will be their first time in a while that they play for the Champions League. I don't know how they're going to be for as far as the Champions League. It's a whole different, it's something totally different for them. So, and PSV have done this before, right? They were there last season. They did okay, not the best, but they got their foot on the door and they were able to see what the waters are like. So to me, I'm going to give it to PSV. I'm most likely not going to bet this one. It's just too wild from me. So I'm not betting this one. But if I had to pick one, I would go with PSV. They are favorite. Well, they're favorite as far as money line. Money line, they're at -125. Union SG are at money line plus 315. So technically, I guess PSV is favorite, but they're not really on a favorite side here. Total points sitting at 3. And as far as these two teams going head to head, that one time they played, they did not go over 3. Total points 3 now. As a matter of fact, they didn't even go over the total team points, which is 1.5 for both of them. I don't think this is going to, maybe PSV will score 2. I think the best bet here would be total points under 3. Let's see, as far as Union allowing their opponents to score. So I guess Union SG have a really, really strong defense. In their 5 most recent games, they've only allowed their opponents to score once. And they still ended up winning that game. So I wouldn't be surprised if Union SG ends up winning this game, but they have a really good defense, apparently. Now they're also going against Belgium. Like that, their league is Belgium for the Union SG. Belgium, not that they're bad, it's just I think PSV I think their league is a little bit up higher than Belgium. PSV is from the Dutch league. So, and I do feel like the Dutch league is a little bit up higher as far as teams going, like stronger, if that makes sense. Like they're a bit stronger than the Belgium Pro League. So with that being said, like I said, I feel like PSV are maybe just a bit better. Anyways, with that being said, I think total points under 3 is the way to go here. Give me PSV to win. If I had to do points, I would do either total points under 3 or maybe PSV over 1.5. But that 1.5, I wouldn't count on it just because it seems like Union SG's defense is that good. So yeah, give me total points under 3. All right, on to the next game. We have Benfica versus Karabag. Now, Karabag last season for the Champions League, they showed up. I know that because I ended up winning. I think almost every bet I did for them or with them. I think the only time that they didn't was, I think, their last game where they ended up losing. But as far as like the other games, I think I was just like every game in. I was like, there's no way they're going to win this one. But I was like, let's just bet on this. Like whether it was points or it was them winning straight up there. And I ended up winning. So I guess I have some luck with this team. Now, they're going against Benfica. This is a little bit on the tough side right here already. Straight out the gate. Benfica at home. They are favorite. Money line is at -450. Karabag money line at plus 1,190. That's crazy. Karabag have no injured players. Benfica, 2 injured players. And Di Maria is no longer in Benfica, if you guys did not know that. I mean, apparently they've been okay. They haven't taken an L in their 5 most recent games for Benfica, but they have 3 wins, 2 draws. Karabag now on their side, they got 4 wins and 1 L. As far as the Champions League goes for Karabag. Now, these two teams have not gone head to head in their past, so this one's gonna be tough. I think Benfica are the better team here, though, to be honest with you. But do not sleep on Karabakh. Benfica are favorite, right? They are at home. They got that advantage. I don't know how I feel about this game. I think the best bet here would probably be Karabakh to cover. If I was to do points, I would do with Karabakh to cover this 0.5. I think probably that's just the best bet here. They seems like every game they play, they've been able to cover this 0.5. So maybe that would be something to look at. Benfica, their two most recent games, they've allowed their opponents to score. Yeah, I think maybe that's the best bet here. Just because Karabakh don't have any injured players and they have been able to score, then I think that's the best bet. But I do feel like Benfica could win this one. I would not be surprised if Karabakh ends up winning. Anyways, on to the next game. We have Juventus versus Dortmund. Juventus are at home. They are favorite. Money line is even for Juventus, which means if you put 100, you'll get 100. Dortmund are at plus money, 275. Injuries. Juventus only have one questionable player. Dortmund, 2 injured players and 2 questionable. Total points sitting at 2.5. And as far as team total sitting at 1.5 for Juventus, Dortmund at 0.5. Now, Juventus, their most recent game versus Inter Milan was insane. Juventus are insane already as it is. Dortmund have only taken an L in their 5 most recent games, so they're not that bad either. But that one L in their 5 most recent games, guess who they were going against? Juventus. So, yeah, this is a tough one. These two teams have gone head to head 3 times in their past. And it seems like Dortmund just cannot beat Juventus. So, and like I said, Juventus are that good this time around. I mean, they've always been good, but this time around, it seems like they got their game on lock. Yeah, give me Juventus to win here. As far as points, total points sitting at 2.5. It has gone over 3 out of their 3 most recent head-to-head between both of these two teams. So, yes, give me total points over 2.5, or I think maybe just the best bet here would be Juventus over 1.5. Why that? Because even though it has gone over 2.5 3 out of 3, Juventus 1.5, they've been able to cover this 3 out of their 3 most recent head-to-head. And as far as their past games for Juventus, their 5 most recent games, they've been able to cover this 4 out of 5. That to me is, I think it's a bit easier to just score 2 than for everything to go over 2.5. So, with that being said, I'm going to go with Juventus to cover this 1.5 if I was to do points. But for sure, I'm going to do Juventus to win straight up on this one. All right, on to the next game. We have Real Madrid versus Marseille. To all you Real Madrid fans, this is the time. This is it right here. Let's see how good your team really is. Champions League time, baby. Let's see. Their 5 most recent games between both these two teams, they've actually gone head to head 4 times. So those 4 times, Real Madrid have beat Marseille. Marseille this season, I don't think they're all that great. They're not bad. They're just not all that great. I think they got 3 wins and 2 L's in their 5 most recent games. So they're probably not that good. But I mean, Real Madrid, they ended up winning. They end up winning somehow, some way. They end up winning their most recent game versus Real Sociedad. They ended up winning, even if it was just by 1, but they ended up winning. But we'll see with this one right here. If Marcelli locks in, I think this could be a draw. Like, I have a feeling this could be a draw, but they haven't tied in their 4 most recent head-to-head, so maybe not. Money line. Real Madrid are favorite. They are at home. And that's another reason why I think Real Madrid could win, just because they're at home and they got that advantage. But anyways, money line is at negative 270. Yeah, negative 270 for Real Madrid. As far as Marcelli, they're sitting at plus 640. So yeah, that was pretty bad for Marcelli as far as money lines. That just lets you know that Real Madrid most likely going to win this one. Now, here is where it gets crazy. Total points sitting at 2.5 or 3.5. Their 4 most recent head-to-head, it has gone over only twice. So that means 2 times they did not go over. I don't feel like this would be the case here because Real Madrid haven't been putting that many numbers up. And as far as Marcelli, them putting that numbers against Real Madrid, I don't think that will happen. So give me total points under 3.5. Now, as far as Marcelli covering this 0.5, Real Madrid have allowed their opponents to score the 2 most recent games they've allowed their opponents to score. So maybe Marcelli. I just wouldn't put my money on it, to be honest with you. Maybe if it was a different team, then yeah, but not this time. So as far as points, if I had to do points, I would go total points under 3.5. But as far as the win here, give me Real Madrid. All right, on to the next and final game, guys. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let me know down in the comments who you got. All right, here we go. Tottenham at home. They are favorite going against Villarreal. Money line is at negative 120 for Tottenham and plus money 320 for Villarreal. None of these 2 teams have any injuries. And as far as these 2 teams going head to head, they have no previous meetings between both of these 2 teams. So, as far as the better team here, I want to say Tottenham, to be honest with you. Villarreal couldn't even beat Atletico Madrid in their most recent game, and they should have, because Atletico Madrid is just terrible, but it is what it is. So I'm going to go with Tottenham to win here straight out the gate. Now, as far as total points sitting at 2.5 and team total sitting at 1.5 for Tottenham, Villarreal at 0.5. I don't think Villarreal is going to cover a goal here. Tottenham's defense, they are that good. They've been able to cover. They've been able to keep their opponents at 0 in their three most recent games, or not 3 most recent games, but 3 out of their 5 most recent games. They've been able to keep their opponents at 0. So I'm going to go with Tottenham to win straight up. And if I was to do points, I'd probably do Villarreal or Tottenham over 1.5. Team total over 1.5. Only because I think it's easier for Tottenham to score 2 than it is for total points to go over 2.5. Even though I feel like it's going to happen. I feel like total points could go over, but I think to me the best bet would be Tottenham to cover this 1.5. They've been able to do this 4 out of their 5 most recent games. So yeah. And as far as Villarreal allowing this 1.5, they literally allowed this their most recent game versus Atletico Madrid. So yeah. Give me Tottenham to win. And as far as points, give me Tottenham over 1.5. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope the information I gave you was good enough for you guys to make the right picks. Hope you guys end up winning. But most of all, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.